Today we're going to look at Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises. First of all, I like Christopher Nolan's work a lot. I enjoyed Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Memento, The Prestige, Inception, and Insomnia. This was not the case with The Dark Knight Rises, however.
It felt more akin to a CSI TV show rather than a superhero movie.
Batman was barely in it. Selina Kyle was just a regular cat burglar and was never even called Catwoman. Robin was just a normal cop. And the supervillain Bane had no actual super qualities to him at all, aside from a breathing apparatus. Echt verschrikkelijk in vergelijking met zijn voorgangers.
First, let's discuss Bane. Typically, Bane wears a luchador mask that covers all of his head except for his mouth. Strangely, Nolan's version wears a mask that basically covers only his mouth, thereby being an exact opposite of the true Bane.
Well, Bane is supposed to be Latino. He wears a luchador mask and uses Spanish words and phrases. He used to be a luchador.
Yeah, well, Nolan decided to make them English for some reason. You know, that makes sense because this is Harry Potter and every actor in this film is from the American created superhero genre has to suddenly be from the United Kingdom. Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Gary Oldman, Liam Neeson, and now Tom
You have a
Hardy.
problem with English people, mate?
Not at all. I'm talking to you, ain't I? I'm just saying that just 'cause Nolan is English doesn't mean that every single actor he gets has to be. Especially when he starts changing characters' ethnicities because
Perhaps Christopher Nolan simply cannot find any good actors who are not of Her Majesty's Kingdom.
Anyways, Bane is supposed to use an experimental chemical known as venom, which increases his size and strength to extraordinary proportions. Nolan's Bane had no special chemical or anything to amplify it, or set him apart from a normal man.
He had an air mask on his face, and that was it. Nothing really special. Well, Bane's height is typically 2.03 meters, which is approximately 6'8" for you Yanks, and he weighs nearly 159 kilos, or 350 pounds, and not the British sorts. Venom, an experimental drug that gives Bane superhuman strength, must be injected into his brain using cables or else he will suffer from severe and life-threatening side effects. Somehow, Nolan's Bane, wearing a fancy oxygen mask, which only provides the very basic function that chain smokers' oxygen tanks provide, isn't really that impressive.
well, Nolan's oxygen mask does imbue his Bane with a fantastic ability to produce incomprehensible speech. His iconic Latino accent would have been much better than this garbled, Sean Connery-esque thing we got from Tom
He was
Hardy.
very difficult to understand. Ik kon hem niet begrijpen. I did not like it.
If nothing else, his voice definitely needed to be clearer. However, I was more irritated with Nolan's unexplained erratic strength. This Bane was basically the same size as the 6'2", 210-pound Batman, not counting the armor he wears, and yet Bane was somehow able to break concrete, crush a metal helmet, and lift Batman completely over his head, all without the aid of a super-enhancing drug such as Venom.
Christopher Nolan stated prior to the film's release that he figured he could do whatever he wanted with Bane because he thought that he was an unfamiliar character. I'm not sure I entirely agree with that notion.
Another major issue was the general lack of superheroes and villains prevalent in this film. Selina Kyle, Robin, Bane, and Talia al Ghul were all quite ordinary. This didn't occur in the prior two films, and I'm not sure what went wrong with this one. None of the characters actually assumed their true roles in this film. Robin is merely a street cop named Blake throughout the entire film. Selina Kyle is simply a burglar and lacks most of the traits that make her Catwoman. Bane is pretty much just a wrestler from WWE with a breathing mask on. And Talia al Ghul is literally thrown into the movie for 2 seconds near the end, displaying none of her distinctive fighting prowess whatsoever, right before driving a truck into a giant hole and dying. Ooh, amazing.
Talia al Ghul is supposed to be a love interest for Batman and a really good fighter. Instead, she was basically like a red-headed girl from that Eclipse Twilight movie. Also, Selina Kyle was never even called Catwoman once in this whole film ever.
That's because she really wasn't Catwoman. She was just supposed to be your average run-of-the-mill burglar named Selina Kyle.
She certainly didn't have that whip of hers, nor her iconic pussycat claws. I honestly think that if I knew nothing of Batman prior to watching this film, I would have never known that John Blake, Selina Kyle, or Talia al Ghul were ever supposed to be unique or special characters in the world of Batman. Certainly not superheroes or villains. There simply wasn't anything super about any of them.
Selina Kyle basically just rode around on Batman's motorcycle, the Batpod, instead of doing anything Catwoman-like. Now, let's look at Batman, the supposed main character of this overhyped film. First off, where was he? He was barely in the movie as Batman, and even the small parts that he didn't really do anything amazing.
Gee, let's see. He sat around lazily for years with a broken leg, then he got his butt handed to him by Bane, but not before providing Bane with a bunch of spare Batmobiles, which the villains seem to find with ease. Then he mopes around a jail cell with a hurt back for a while before finally jumping a tiny little gap a little girl can jump in order to escape.
Woo! How the bloody hell did Bruce Wayne manage to reach Gotham City after escaping the pit with only the clothes on his back anyways?
That's a bat secret that only he knows. After returning to Gotham, he uses his little bumblebee ship without wings, aptly named the Batwing, to shoot some machine guns at his stolen Batmobiles, which does nothing.
But not before Lucius Fox specifically makes a big deal about the wingless Batwing's supposed superior firepower.
Which it clearly does not possess, seeing as how he has to use one of the enemy Batmobile's own missiles in order to actually hurt one of them.
And burglar Selina Kyle takes out the other two with the Batpod as if they were made out of paper mache.
Let's not forget the amazing and not boring in the least fight between Bane and Batman, where Batman employs the same exact punching tactic that failed earlier in the sewers. However, this time he aims for the obvious weak point, Bane's oxygen mask. Duh.
Well, Batman did not actually finish Bane this fight either. Once again, he required the continued aid of Selina Kyle, using the Bat-Cycle to deal with Bane. Apparently, the Bat-Cycle was the true star of this film.
I did not prefer how
Alfred left Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
I can honestly say that I've never known Alfred's character to abandon Bruce Wayne, especially in a time of need, no matter how he feels.
I think Sir Michael Caine is tough enough that he would have stuck it out. Alfred's loyalty trumps his own personal views any day.
So to summarize the major issues, we have number 1, a lack of Batman in a Batman movie. Number 2, Selina Kyle is just a burglar, not Catwoman. She doesn't have her whip, she doesn't have her claws, there's no mask or ears. Number 3, Bane isn't big enough. He's not understandable, and he's not even Latino. And worst of all, he has no venom, which is pretty much a core element of Bane. Number 4, Blake, aka Robin, isn't a sidekick or a superhero, he's just a street cop. Number 5, Batman doesn't use his intellect or gadgets to fight Bane either time, but instead merely employs fist-beating techniques. Number 6, Talia al Ghul retains none of her true character elements. She serves as a quick, pointless plot twist and then suffers a hasty, simple death. Basically, she could have been omitted from the film. Number 7, Alfred Pennyworth abandons Bruce Wayne in his most important time of need. Number 8, the Batwing possesses neither superior firepower nor actual wings from which it derives its name. Number 9. Batman takes forever to jump over a tiny girl jumpable gap, despite being able to jump across an entire city street in Batman Begins. Number 10. Batman teleports from the pit jail to Gotham City without anything. Number 11. This is apparently a Harry Potter film, thus all actors need to be from the United Kingdom. Number 12. Even the Scarecrow never wore his mask or used any of his standard fear toxins. Seriously, where are all the super characters in this film?
Just out of curiosity, how the bloody hell can this version of Bane eat or drink? His mask seems to be permanently affixed, and he's never been shown removing it.
Yeah. The normal Bane's mask doesn't compromise the mouth or nose region, so consumption ain't a problem. Who knows how this one survives?
Well, I guess we'll just add that to our list as number 13 then, shall we? Number 13. Bane can't eat or drink because of a stupid, pointless mask redesign. Well, this concludes our session of Christopher Nolan's disappointing third installment in the Batman franchise. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Coalition of Entertainment Connoisseurs. The channel name is Coalition of EC.
We hope to bring out a new video once every month or so be sure to keep an eye out for them.
Like us and leave your comments down below. If you liked this episode, check out some of our other videos and also take a glance at our Facebook page.
And remember,
the
Coalition of Entertainment Connoisseurs.